In this video now we're going to look at the Grinch sprite and work out how we're going to move the Grinch around the screen. Obviously the Grinch is going to be the evil character in the game. It's going to go across the bottom and Santa's going to have to jump to stay out of the Grinch's way. So first thing, I'm going to get the Grinch and we're going to go to Control, Events, When the game starts we want something to happen. So first of all we want to tell where to go, so we're going to use the motion brick and we're going to say go to, and we're going to give it a location. So at the minute it's over on the left hand side somewhere because it's set to x minus 270. So let's change that to 200 and put it on the right hand side. Y minus 129 is going to be down towards the bottom, so that should be okay. So that's where it is now, that's fine. So let's just try that to minus 250. Should put him off the screen. Yeah, so he's over here somewhere now, he's going to come in. So we're going to now look at how we can get him to actually move across the screen. So we're going to go to motion, and again there's different ways we can do this. And I'm going to use the glide function to see how that works. So I'm going to use glide 1 second to minus 250. So what I wanted to do is I want to set it to plus 250 first of all. So I think I put in the minus by mistake there. So he's moving across, that's fine. Now he's moving a little bit fast there, so maybe we could change that. So in the last video we made a lot of use of this random. Random is good in games, we don't want everything to be the same. But one's maybe a bit too fast, so let's say 2 seconds is as fast as you can go, and let's say you can go maybe 5 seconds. So he's always going to take at least 2 seconds to move across the screen, but sometimes it'll be 5. So that gives us enough time to try and jump out of the way. Try it again. So if you find that's still going a little bit too fast, then you can change it. You might go from 3 to 5 seconds. You could make them the same size, the same speed all the time if you want, but this is working fine for me. So I'm happy enough with that, and I can play a bit with that after if I can change it. What I need to do is I need to repeat. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it inside a loop, and let's see how the loop works. I'm going to put it inside a forever loop. So always want to repeat this. It's going to go down here and it's going to move across the screen. Let's see how that plays out. And you can see then it's moving across to the start of the screen again, going at a different speed. Now that's fine, but you might think that maybe you don't want the Grinch to be coming out all the time. You want maybe a little bit more time between each version of the Grinch goes across. So what we could do down here, if we wanted to do that, we could have another little wait. So if we go into control and we change wait, and again we could use random. So we might wait between 3 and let's try 1 and 5 seconds. So sometimes it might come quite quick, sometimes there'll be a bit of a delay. So that's okay. Happy with the Grinch is moving about. Now what we might want to do for Santa is we might want to set Santa a number of lives. So we're going to do variables. Now I've added some in there, but I haven't got one for lives yet, so I'm going to create one. So I'm going to make a variable by clicking on the button, give it a name, li lives, and I'm going to set it open to all sprites, so for all sprites. And I'm going to click on OK. So now I've got this another variable called lives. So again, like anything, I'm going to code it. I'm going to do it in a different little script just to keep it separate. So I'm going to go to events. I'm going to say when the game starts. Looking at our variables, in the same way we did with score, we want to set drop down lives to, let's say Santa gets 3 lives. And then what we're going to look at is we're going to look at making make it so that whenever the Grinch touches Santa, he loses a life. Again, very similar to the code we used on the presents to make them disappear. The forever loop with an if inside it, so we're always checking, is this happening in our program? So again, we go to control, we're going to use a forever loop, we're going to put it inside here, we're going to use an if, and we're going to use sensing, so is something happening? So I want to check, is the sprite, which is the one we're on, if it's touching Santa, what do we want to happen? First thing we want to happen is we want to hide the Grinch. So we'll go to looks and we'll set it to hide so he disappears whenever he touches Santa. And it's down at the bottom here, we're going to set it to hide. And because we're hiding it, we need to make sure we show it up here at the start of the game. So it's always going to set show. Sorry, not there. We always want to set it to show here after it appears again in the correct location on the screen. So it's going to go across, hit Santa and disappear. The sprite will keep on moving even though we don't see it. And when it moves back here, it's set to show again. So let's see how that works. So Santa can move, he can jump, you can see he's touched and he's disappeared. So that's worked fine. Now, I might need to change the way Santa jumps, but we can do that in another video. We'll look, whenever we create all these elements, we have to make sure that they work together, which we do towards the end. So we might change the speed of Santa, the speed of the Grinch, make him jump higher, etc. And that will work for that. So now that's making the Grinch touch Santa and making him hide when he does. And now the last part is to make him, so whenever the Grinch touches Santa, we take one away from lives. And again, we'll find that in variables. And we want to change jump height by, so we're not dealing with jump height, we're using lives, and we want to change it by -1 this time. Green flag. So now whenever he touches it, he should lose a life. And you can see that's working fine. It's moving down. Disappears and comes back again. Because we're now adding lives, we need the ability to end the game whenever the lives gets down to, so 3, 2, 1, so you get down to 0, so if you go to -1, then we would end the game. And again, we're going to use a control, we're going to use, or an event, sorry, when the game's started, when the green flag is clicked. And again, we're always going to sense this, we're always checking this, forever. And inside that, we're going to use if. Now, what we're going to do now is use operators, and you've got this one. We can check if something is equal to a certain number. So I'm going to pop that in there. I'm going to go to my variables. I'm going to use lives. I'm going to drag that on the left-hand side. You can see it's the shape that matches. So whenever the lives is equal to -1, then I want to use the I'm just looking at, let me just have a look at that. I've got a sprite here I'm going to want to show. We'll do that but after, but for now we'll just end the game. So whenever it gets to -1, the game will end. We'll make it a bit fancier later on. But for now we'll just go to control and we'll go stop all. So whenever if I green flag that now, Santa starts, you can jump, you can collect the presents. Lost a life there. Lost a life there. Just about got that one. So if it hits me one more time, the game should. Now the next time he gets me, the game should end. So the game has ended. So it's not the best way of ending the game just yet. We are going to make this game over sprite appear later on. But for now, that's fine. The game's working, it's fit for purpose. So what have we done? In this activity, we've added movement controls to the Grinch so we can move across the bottom of the screen, and we have set it up so that it goes at a random time and a random speed. We've created a variable called lives, so every time Santa bangs into the Grinch, he loses a life. And then we've set it so that whenever the lives is equal to -1, that the game will actually finish then.
Thank you. So is that another one? Is it or just?
Yeah. So that is all you need to get those characters moving about. And in the next lesson then we'll look at making it a little bit more fancier. So we're going to look at making the sleigh move. We're going to make Rudolph appear. And we're going to look at how we can change between different levels. So as the score goes up, we can change the background until we finally get to the final level and the end of the game.